Welcome to the Big Talk with Charlotte. I am here, and I'm here with who?
Oscar Ortega.
Yes, and we're super excited. And today we're literally going to have a conversation on why do we need women representatives. Like, I'm sure see me peke yangu, I've just been asking myself, do we actually need 47 women in government from all counties? Like, mbona tunawahitaji, right? I think there's a lot of rumors of like, hatujui wendrepu wetu, what are they actually doing? And now today we're just going to look into the facts and figures of why we actually need these women. And who are they, first of all? And do we really need them? Swali specific sana. So I think I'll ask Oscar, like, is stuff ilianzia wapi? Like, where did we really need these women and where did they come from?
That's actually a really good question. And for you to understand why things happen the way they happen, you have to go back to the past. So when Kenya actually became an independent, it became an independent 63. For the first parliament, say took on the 13th parliament, I think if I'm not wrong, which now led by the Kenya Kwanza government. But from the first parliament, when people were elected, MPs, all of those guys were elected, all of them first of all were men. And you have to understand at that particular point, kila mtu ni mwanaume, so they didn't believe like women are you're not supposed to be leaders, maybe they're not interested in politics. And 7 years later, the first woman who was actually elected in power was a woman called Grace Wanyango. And he actually elected to actually represent Kisumu Township.
Women from the left side.
Imagine.
Women from the left side.
So when she was now elected, of course, other women came into power. Like Margaret Kenyatta became the mayor of Nairobi City County. But you still find, but this is an interesting fact that you actually have to understand. Since 1963 to 2012, only 50 women were elected into elective positions. Only 50 in a span of 50 years.
In a span of 50 years? 50 women.
So kifanya maths, it's like per election year, maybe there were 5. You get? It was,
I get.
Or 10, even less to that. So you find when the constitution was being amended, it was very critical to actually have women actually come into power and actually being part of the decision-making table, and to break that stereotypical notion and talk about women are not maybe interested in politics, or women are not supposed to be in leadership, or maybe sometimes even they use even marriage as they're supposed to just be carers of the home and all those things. But actually, that's one of the main reasons they actually came, and it was so progressive in the sense of that after the constitution was amended and then we had our first election in 2013, so many women came into power now through the 47 women now that we have. So at least that's how the talk of the two-thirds gender rule actually came in, so that you can actually have almost not absolute, but an almost equilibrium of having a ratio of men to women, because fundamentally you guys are more than us. But like, you guys are 51% of the population, and yet you're less than 20% of actually people in leadership.
Wow, that's interesting. So I think mimi sikuwa naelewa kitambo. I think in a new way, like, why is there so much, like, I'm not seeing women representatives do anything. And I was like, do we actually need them? I think just from me, from Uasin Gishu County with Gladys Moshole as our women representative, I think I could see how mostly within the political scene of, especially during the presidential campaigns and everything, but kwa ground, literally kwa ground on matters, women, children, young girls, it was really unheard of. Honestly, maybe just me, or maybe there's something that was happening, but I couldn't really see the facts and like, unadu nini, unanipata, like pali umewekwa unafanya nini. And I think one particularly that I actually learned recently, Oscar, how much money does the national government allocate for women representatives? So
since 2013, the government used to allocate 1 billion Kenyan shillings.
1
billion Kenyan shillings. And then early last year in January, our president now, President William Ruto, ended up now expanding or akaongezea basically up to now 3 billion Kenyan shillings. So previously, women reps across the country used to get, I think, if my math is not wrong, and if my facts are not wrong, about 7 million Kenyan shillings for the whole county. So you can imagine, let me give you an example for Nairobi. Nairobi, we are in a population of 6 to 5 million people. And 6 to 5 million people, 2.78 million people are women. Wamama. You have plus there are girls inside of that equation. You can imagine. And then a women rep is told, now our women rep Esther Passaris is told, as government, we're giving you 7 million to actually cater for 2.85.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you find like most women reps, yes, sometimes we usually ask ourselves, bona how they don't have
Hawako
a voice,
loud.
hawako loud. But also if you look at actually the things that you have been given a role, because you have to understand for our viewers that women reps are members of parliament.
Yeah.
These are members of parliament representing women in counties. You understand? You have to picture that this is so the same caliber as an MP, na the same salary MP anapata. Same WhatsApp group MP, women rep anapata. Oversight she does, budgeting she does, all those things she does. But you find in terms of like budgeting and funding, they really don't get enough money.
So your budget ni kidogo, tukisema ukweli.
They really don't get enough.
So 3 billion for the entire country?
Imagine, for the entire country. And you haven't, and bado jaongeza, some counties are marginalized. Like unapata, so of course, because how budgetary works, it's the higher the population, the higher the budget. Sini ukweli. So Nairobi is a small county and Turkana is a huge county. But Nairobi is more populated than Turkana. So of course more resources will come to Nairobi than to Turkana. So you can imagine how much money does the now women for Turkana actually get.
So can Nairobi ni 7?
Yeah.
Anaweza kuwa anapata ngapi kwa? Na huko Turkana ndo I think they need
more
money than even us, right? Where I think FGM is on the higher rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Is child marriages.
Yeah.
I think okay, thank you. I think I'm learning so well. I think it's so easy to shout hawafanyi kitu. They're not doing anything, particularly in this country, and we actually don't know behind the scenes. Hatujui stuff.
Yeah.
Something very interesting that I learned recently is, I think I'm just going to read it out loud, is that Parliament in a budget for Affirmative Action Social Fund for county women representatives. And this fund is supposed to cater for the following: help sexual and sex-based brutality survivors, supporting the youth and have when you drop out of school, homelessness and vulnerable kids, and nurturing youngsters. Now, when I said about specifically about my women rep, just seeing from what is going on social media, what she will post about was mostly about within the government, within the national government, within the cabinet, but I wish more women representatives will actually speak more in inafanyika kaunti zao. Isikwe tu you're just rushing for attention within the national government, and there's nothing we're literally seeing on the ground as people from those particular counties. I think we can still name a few women reps that we have seen actually loud about these things that they were actually put there for. I don't know if Oscar can give us a few figures and facts of women who have done this before.
Actually, between 2013 and 2015, women rep, the people who have been elected into power, have sponsored up to 9 bills.
Wow.
9 bills actually into parliament. That's actually 8% of actually the amount of contribution that you're actually giving. But that's the figures that we have from 2013 to 2015.
Okay.
During Uhuru's first term. And also there's a woman rep that I want to really up, and her name is Priscilla Nyokabi. This woman did this. An important example is Access to Information Act that was sponsored by Nyeri County Women Representatives. Meaning this access to information, you find that most people in counties, especially rural counties, they really don't have access to information in terms of low internet access, low mobile coverage. And you find when she was now propagating now this bill, it was now allowing government to actually find more resources to actually make sure, and this really bill untakuja kupata imesaidia sana paka saa hii. The point that when Kenya Council is coming into government and saying that we are giving internet access to a lot of people, it's because of women like this who actually went to parliament and actually spoke about it and actually put it into the limelight, that so many people are illiterate because they don't have access to information. So for kids, that's school. Unapata, you find in urban areas, people have, like a kid in Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, they have access to internet. They can search. What about a kid in Garissa? A kid in Mandera? In those marginalized places, there's no internet coverage, there's no mobile coverage, hakuna kitu. So how can information now get to them? And this woman actually propagated that bill to actually help government to actually address that in parliament. So one thing that you have to understand is women, and you've said it correctly, that they don't speak up. And shout. Exactly. But you find the time watapata ukiongea, and that's the sad part. It's during like that election time.
unatafuta
votes, like you're looking for the up, but you find when you're elected into power, and that's, I think, one woman that I'll actually up is, an actually bigger shout out to, is our women rep for Nairobi, Esther Passaris. As much as people talk about her, that woman actually speaks up.
Shout out to Esther Passaris. I think I have seen her move. Na, okay, ametupostia na tunajua enye amefanya.
Like, she's actually
more
doing
women should do that in position of power. Like, tell us what you're doing. Like, we can't really know. We're in the age of technology. Tell us what you're doing. Right? Just tell people, like, guess what, this is what I'm doing to the funds that have been used. So far, I'll say, even for me, will be Esther Passaris. She's been on the ground. Sana. So big ups to Esther Passaris, particularly for us.
And you find also that when you, especially for women, you know, first of all, you're working in a disadvantaged environment.
Absolutely.
You get? And that's one thing that I think, because we are coming, this is 2024. So there's like three years more to the election. So, and then tukishafika 2026, that's when now the upbeat and politics itaanza kunini. And the generation of voters who are coming are Gen Zs. You get?
Kina sisi.
It's Gen Zs. It's Gen Zs. And if you can't say ati watu ushago, ati young people ati uko ushago, they have Facebook.
Vibaya sana.
You see, company telecom has made telecommunication companies in Kenya has made it so easy for anyone to access internet.
Absolutely.
And social media. So you can imagine 4 million people voted, 4 million registered voters voted in. Those are young people that were recorded who actually registered and actually voted for the election. You can imagine, let's now double that number to 8. Or even worse, 10 million youth people actually went more to vote. They actually register and actually decide to vote. Do you think, as a human rep, anyone will vote for you and you do not know what you've been doing for the last 5 years? Yes, there's concrete work, groundwork, but show us, speak up.
Absolutely.
You have to speak up.
And I also believe more women reps need to speak up in parliament, at the house. Like, honestly, I think as a woman and as a young woman and as a Gen Z who actually loves politics and governance, it's an honor to see women boldly. That's why when I say, like, women from the lake, I have just literally seen them in parliament literally speak up boldly, right, at the August House, and they're like, we need this. This is not right. They have literally spoken up, and I think we have seen them, different women representatives, either an MP or a senator, but I'm just calling up to women representatives specifically, because you're put there for position. Yako see normal MP. You're put there for a specific reason, for a specific time, and women are actually looking up to you to give us those decisions. Please don't just focus on the attention from the national government, from the cabinet, from the president, but also look at why your county actually put you there. It's serious business. Isi maneno tu jokes. It's serious business that young girls actually need help from you, who was actually given that opportunity by us. Sindio?
And I can give a very good example. Like, if we didn't have the women rep in 2013, like that ballot actually being put on the ballot, we could have not had the young woman from Bomet who actually won the election. Lynette. Toto. Literally, this is a young 25-year-old woman.
She was 24.
24 and she won the election. A 24-year-old woman. Literally almost our age. Literally our age mates. Literally. Because she was inspired that actually, I'm a girl, I'm a lady. Yes, maybe I don't have the same, I'm not a man, maybe they're disadvantaged, but I can still actually aim higher and actually become a leader in this nation. And I think one thing that we have to destroy is this mentality that women can't lead. Especially in an African context, that leadership ni tu ni ya wanaume. But you have to understand, women are also leaders. Ask yourself this. When you're at home, your mom with your dad, and then you'll ask your dad the most simplest thing. Dad, iko wapi vijiko? Atakwambia nini? Uliza mom. So you can't say women are not leaders, because even husbands know they can't survive without their wives. So,
anyway, my take on this is particularly that as women reps, they should take more seriously their jobs, because iko na watu wengine wenye wanategemea hiyo kazi yako. On the other hand, like, people in counties are literally like begging and trying to seek, like, where are our women representatives? I think if you go on ground, people know, even if you ask someone even from a particular county, like, women rep wako nani? Hawajui. No one knows our women reps. No one literally knows. So I think it's just a call out to women, particularly in this position. Let's be intentional with our God-given offices. See jokes, see fun, see kwenda hapo kuiba ma jokes. It's literally a serious business where women, young girls have literally trusted you, and even men who have voted for you for that particular position. Yeah.
I think all I can say finally is women are there to lead, and this actually position is really important because we need women to make in decision-making tables. We need that female factor there.
Yeah.
It's really, really important for us as men because you can't be in a crowd of only men and then expecting something different to happen to our society because at the end of the day, we're still raising daughters who need to actually lead this nation.
Absolutely, that's
so
perfectly said.
In my opinion, women reps are very important, but the most understood office in the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Asanteni guys for joining us for that particular short conversation, and I hope from now we actually have the need and the oomph and zeal to understand, like, guess what, e position is important and why is it important. Karibu sana, and see you in the next episode.
Bye bye.